Okay, so let's unpack this really fascinating idea of a dream job.
Hmm.
If you think way back, like before all the adult stuff, mortgages, meetings, what were those first big career dreams?
Right, like being a firefighter maybe, or
Right.
a teacher.
Exactly. Or, a singer up on stage, or maybe that star football player.
Yeah.
Those early ideas about work, they're pretty revealing, actually.
They really are. And what's interesting, I think, is how they often tap into what we find exciting or important at that age. It's less about the job description and more about what it represents.
Totally. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We've been listening to an episode of the Vocabulary London podcast. It's called My Dream Job.
Okay.
And our goal here really is to follow this one person's journey, how their idea of a dream job changed over time. And more importantly, pull out some lessons, some insights that might, shed some light on your own search for fulfilling work, or even just finding a new interest.
Sounds great. So, those early sparks for the person in the podcast, what were they? What first caught their imagination as a kid?
Well, the first one mentioned around maybe age 6 was wanting to be a bus driver.
A bus driver. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. And it might sound, fairly standard for a kid,
Yeah.
maybe. But the reason's interesting. It wasn't just about driving.
Yeah.
It was the mechanics of it all. Like all the buttons and levers
Hmm.
operating this big complex machine, that was the draw.
Ah, so the fascination with how things work, like a system.
Exactly. And also the idea of like navigating the city, choosing the route, seeing different people every day. That whole experience seemed really appealing.
That's interesting, because you could read that as maybe an early sign of enjoying autonomy or problem solving the navigation part, and maybe even the social interaction aspect too, even way back then.
Yeah, absolutely. Then fast forward a few years, around age 10, and there's a big switch.
Okay.
The buses are gone. Now it's all about becoming a veterinarian.
Oh, wow. Complete change. From machines to living creatures.
Right. And this was apparently fueled entirely by a love for animals. They
Mm.
mentioned their cat, Charlie, specifically.
Uh,
It wasn't just liking animals. It was this strong desire to help them, to make them better if they were sick or hurt.
yeah.
You can really see that empathy starting to form into a career idea.
That makes sense. That personal connection, especially with a pet like Charlie, can be incredibly powerful. It moves from just affection to, like you said, a feeling of responsibility, a desire to nurture and heal. It really shows how our emotional world starts shaping those early professional thoughts.
So true. Okay, let's jump ahead again. Secondary school arrives.
Right, teenager years.
And suddenly, stories become huge.
Mm.
Reading isn't just something you do. It's like a passion. They were apparently reading everything, all sorts of books, different genres, just soaking it all up.
Okay, a bookworm phase.
But then it pivots.
Yeah.
It goes from just loving stories to wanting to tell them, wanting to be the creator, not just the reader.
Ah, that's a key moment, isn't it? Moving from appreciation to aspiration. Recognizing the impact of stories and thinking, hey, I want to do that too. It points towards wanting to communicate, to connect with people through imagination.
Exactly. But here's the relatable bit, I think, for a lot of us. How do you turn wanting to tell stories into, an actual job?
Yeah, the practicalities, a
Yeah.
big jump.
Right. The passion is there, but the path isn't clear. The speaker mentioned thinking about different options writing, maybe filmmaking, journalism.
All connected by that thread of storytelling, using words and narratives.
Yeah, but which one? That uncertainty is really common, I think. Finding the passion is one thing. Figuring out how it fits into the working world is another challenge altogether.
Definitely. It's that exploration phase, trying to match the core desire with a real world form or industry.
So with this love for stories, the next logical step was university, studying English.
Makes sense.
But like it is for so many people, graduating didn't mean instantly landing that perfect dream job.
No, rarely does.
Right. So there were various jobs afterwards. Working in a shop, doing some teaching, writing for some small websites, just kind of trying things out.
That classic post-uni period of sort of navigating and figuring things out, maybe feeling a bit lost sometimes.
Totally. The speaker mentions feeling adrift, actually. And get this, there was even a moment, just a fleeting thought, of going back to the original childhood dream.
No way. The bus driver.
Yeah. Just for a second, apparently. Which is quite funny, but also quite telling, right? When things feel uncertain, sometimes you look back to something that felt simpler.
Absolutely. It just shows how nonlinear career paths really are. You circle back, you reconsider things. It's not a straight line.
Not at all. So the journey carries on. And this is where it takes a really interesting turn towards what they do now.
Okay.
They started making videos, just as a side project, really, videos aimed at helping people learn English.
Ah, okay. Combining the language interest with helping others.
Exactly. Started off just for fun, apparently no big plans for it.
Hmm.
But then people actually started watching them.
Oh, nice. It found an audience.
Yeah, unexpectedly. And more than just watching, people started sending messages, giving feedback, saying things like, "This really helped me understand," or "I feel more confident speaking now."
Wow. That must have been huge.
It sounds like that was the light bulb moment. That feedback, realizing they were actually making a difference for people using their skills, that's when it clicked.
Yeah, I can see that. Moving from just a personal project to something with real, tangible, positive impact on others. That gives it a whole different layer of meaning, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It transformed it. And the description of the dream job reality now is also really interesting.
How so?
It's not like the typical picture of success we might imagine. No fancy office, no big job title on business card.
Right.
It's working from a small room, basic setup, microphone, laptop.
Yep.
Oh, and apparently, always a cup of tea.
Uh-huh, essentials.
But the fulfillment, the deep satisfaction, comes from the actual work, from crafting the stories, helping people learn, connecting with this global community of learners. It really pushes back against those traditional ideas of what a successful career has to look like.
That's a great point. The contrast between the maybe modest setup and the huge sense of purpose, it shows that fulfillment often comes from the inside enjoying the task, seeing the impact, rather than the external stuff like status or money.
Definitely. Okay, so let's try and nail down the key takeaways here, the big lessons from this whole journey.
Yeah, let's distill it.
First off, clearly the idea that a dream job isn't some fixed thing you decide on as a kid and stick to forever.
Right. It evolves. It should evolve, probably. As we grow and learn more about ourselves and the world, you need that flexibility.
Exactly. Keep an open mind because what feels right might change.
Yes.
Second big lesson seems to be pay attention to what genuinely excites you, what gives you energy, even if you don't immediately see how it translates into a job title. That early love of stories, even when the path wasn't clear, was the seed for what eventually became so fulfilling.
Yeah, following that intrinsic motivation, that spark, it's like a compass. Even if the map isn't fully drawn yet, it can lead you somewhere really rewarding.
Third point, and this is often overlooked, I think, is the value you get from jobs that seem totally unrelated at the time.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, the speaker mentioned the shop work helped them learn how to talk to all sorts of different people. Communication skills.
Crucial skills.
And the teaching experience helped them get really good at explaining things clearly.
Right.
Both things they use constantly now in making videos.
That's brilliant. It shows how you build this toolkit of transferable skills from different places. Nothing is really wasted experience if you look at it that way.
For sure. And the final lesson, which really hits home for me, is that a dream job isn't automatically about being famous or earning loads of money.
Right. It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
It can just be about genuinely enjoying what you do day to day, feeling like you're helping someone, contributing something positive, and just feeling fulfilled.
That redefines it, doesn't it? Away from external markers towards that internal sense of satisfaction and meaning.
Yeah. So listening to all this,
Mm-hmm.
it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What about your dream job?
Mm-hmm.
Is it still that same picture you had when you were like 6? Still dreaming of that firefighter helmet or the teacher's chalk?
Or has it twisted and turned? Maybe ended up somewhere completely unexpected, shaped by experiences you couldn't have predicted back then.
It's definitely worth thinking about, reflecting on your own path.
And this whole story is a great reminder that figuring things out, this self-discovery, it's not a one-time event. It's an ongoing journey. Our dreams and goals should shift as we learn.
Absolutely. And it's kind of comforting to know everyone's sort of on that same journey, figuring it out as they go. So yeah, keep dreaming, keep learning, and keep taking those steps, even small ones, towards the work that feels truly authentically you.
One step at a time.